Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. That smokiness of the lap song, you know, I love it. I love it. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea or possibly a cup of coffee or something harder, as I always say. Depends on what part of the planet you're on. So today is my birthday. So I want to get out of here really quick. I'm only spending a little bit of time. It is Labor Day. So we're going to do like a half day today and head out and hang out with the family. So I just wanted to give you some information about how the market is moving forward. Now, let's call it post-pandemic, right? Now that we're going into let's say the end of 2021, how are things going? We're going to take a look at the numbers for 2019, 2020, and 2021, just to see what's going on. We have numbers all the way up to July of 2021. We're going to see how things are going. Is it getting better? As of right now, I can tell you before you even watch the video, things are not faring too well. It feels like the camera market is faltering a little bit. I don't know why. I want to get your thoughts on it, but we're going to look at some of the information involved here, and I want to get your thoughts. So before I get into any of the numbers, I do want to say that as a whole, people have been asking me about mirrorless as well as DSLRs. Which way should they go? What's selling better? Who's buying what? Are they whatever it is? In one of my recent videos, I talked about how DSLRs are simply not dead yet. They are doing quite well, actually. A lot of people are looking for used cameras, and especially DSLRs. They're holding their value. While we see mirrorless cameras dumping, let's say, their value in a year of about 12.6%, we're seeing DSLRs sitting at about a 2.2% reduction, which is really good. That means they're holding their value. If you have a DSLR, you really don't need to sell it now, because 2 years ago, you're going to get literally 2% more than you would today. So what's the difference? Hold on to it. And if you want to purchase a DSLR, it's not a bad time to do it, really. They do the job. But what I do want to tell you is mirrorless, as of now, as of today, or as of July, as of these numbers, the CIPA numbers. If you don't know, CIPA numbers are basically the Camera Imaging Product Association. It's out of Japan, and they put numbers out as far as like sales or shipments or whatnot. So it gives us a little bit of a glimpse in the market. Yes, it is out of Japan, but it still gives you a good idea of where things are going. All right. So anyways, 57% of units or ILCs, interchangeable lens cameras, now are mirrorless. 57%. So they have exceeded now DSLRs by 7%, right? They broke that 50. Also, 77% of the value of all the cameras going out are coming from mirrorless cameras. And we can see that. Why? Because mirrorless cameras are so damn expensive. Right? We're seeing mirrorless cameras that are $3,500, $4,500, $6,500. It reminds me of the days where things went from film over to digital, and the digital cameras were just so damn expensive. And that is what's going on with mirrorless. Rightfully so. It is new technology, and they really need to make some money because the camera industry has not been doing so well. It hasn't fared well. And as I was saying at the very beginning of this, I do feel that the camera industry is faltering. Even though mirrorless is doing well, the numbers are still not increasing as they should. And what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at 3 different charts. To start out with, we're going to look at built-in lens cameras. Now, you know what these are. They're like the point and shoots and whatnot. I like to start out with this because these are the cameras that used to be the big thing back in the digital heyday, right? They made camera manufacturers a ton of money. But as of now, they really haven't. And the reason being is phones, right? So let me bring up this chart. As you can see here, things don't look great as far as total number of shipments when it comes to 2020. We see that shipment numbers only broke the 2020 pandemic numbers only a few times, only in a few different months. Now, we can also see that in July, the market is once again below the 2019 numbers. And I think that we'll see this segment continue on a decline as the camera manufacturers reduce their production. Just like I said, we see that the camera phones, these smartphones, are really gaining market share over small point and shoot cameras. So this specific sub-market within the camera industry, the built-in lens market, I really think is eventually going to just go the way of the dodo bird or the way of the dinosaur. They're just not going to be able to hold on because phones. And the cameras in these phones are getting better and better and better. We all know it. A lot of people say that they're good enough. I personally don't feel that they're good enough, but a lot of people do. I feel like it's like literally shooting back in the 70s where we went to really beautiful full frame 35 millimeter images down to this little 110 crap, and everything just looked like junk. And when we go back to these images that we were taking back then on these little tiny sensors, which were actually film, little tiny negatives this big, everything was just trash. And I feel like a lot of the people that are taking images with their phones later on, when they want to go print something, are like, geez, why does this look so horrible? Well, because you're not looking on it on a high resolution screen that is like, 4x5 or 3x6 or whatever, a small screen. It's just not there. All right. And when you blow these things up, you can really see all the problems. So I do think that this market is going to continue to decline until eventually the built-in lens cameras or the point and shoots will go the way of the dodo bird. So now if we go on to the total ILCs or the interchangeable lens camera shipments, once again, we see these numbers for 2019, 2020, and 2021. Here we can see shipments continue to be below the 2019 numbers. We do see that March, April, May, and June, we were looking promising, basically on track. But then things go south in July. In July, we see a major stumbling point where ILC shipments in July 2021 were just marginally better than 2020. That's not good, guys. We should have seen better sales. Yes, the market has been way below the 2019 numbers, but we would have thought that the 2021 numbers should be above 2020. But they're really not. And as we can see here in July, they weren't. Now, let's take a look at the total shipments, the entire digital camera market. This is always a good way to get a general perspective or an overview perspective and not so nuanced, right? So as we can see here on this total shipment for camera sales, once again, 2019, 2020, and 2021. As we can see here that 2021 starts off slower than in 2020 pandemic. That's in January. It didn't look good for the year, but things got a little bit better. But as of February 2021, we can see that we were on par for 2020, which wasn't bad. Now for March, April, May, and June, we did see camera sales above the 2020 lows, which was good. It looked like the market was coming back alive. But interestingly enough, in July, we saw the numbers drop dramatically back to the pandemic numbers of 2020. What the hell is going on, guys, right? And people will say maybe it has something to do with chips, maybe it has something to do with this, or maybe a new whatever. But we saw those numbers once again drop to those all-time lows, and we didn't expect to see that. Bear in mind, if we look at the numbers of cameras shipped in 2019 and compare them to 2021 in July, we're looking at like a 50% reduction. So whereas we were shipping out, let's say 1.2 million, whereas they were shipping out 1.2 million cameras back in 2019, in 2021 in July, we're looking at only 600,000. We're looking at half, literally half in the last 2 years. That is a major, major reduction. Major reduction. To see a recovery, when we look at the chart itself, we should have seen camera sales for July 2021 right around 800,000 units. That would be on par for this continued, let's say, moving up of the market. But we don't see that. We see a big crash in July. Now, if we just look at camera shipments for, let's say, 2017 to now. In 2017, we sent out, or they sent out, the manufacturers shipped about 11.7 million cameras. Then in 2018, they shipped 10.8 million cameras, a million cameras less. Then in 2019, we saw yet another reduction down to 8.5 million cameras. And then in 2020, 5.5 million cameras. Once again, less than half of 2017. Now we're seeing 2021. What are the numbers going to look like? What are your projections for 2021? What do you think will happen? Some folks out there are saying anywhere from about 6 to 7 million cameras shipped for 2021, which is okay. It will beat the pandemic times of 5.5, but they'll still be below the 2019 numbers. Sadly, in my personal opinion, I think we're going to continue to see this market shrink. I think it's going to get to a point where we're going to see manufacturers start dropping off or consolidate. Not necessarily consolidate cameras, but consolidate brands, consolidate the manufacturers themselves. They're just simply not going to be able to hold on. Some of the smaller companies like Olympus has already been sold and now it's OMD. We saw that happen. How long are they going to be able to hold on? Also Panasonic, how long are they going to hang in there and say, how long do we want to keep this camera segment going? Is it making us enough money? How is the ROI? Because if the ROI is not there, these manufacturers are going to say, you know what, there's no reason to continue doing this. They need to make money doing it, or they need to have that segment, all right, that branch doing something else to help them with one of their other segments. That happens a lot in imaging. In the imaging business, a lot of times we see Canon and Nikon when they're doing medical. A lot of their imaging things that they do that we beta test for them, truthfully so, ends up in the medical industry. Whereas they sell us, let's say, a specific product that costs us $1,000, they'll implement certain features that are inside that camera that are being tested by us, okay, into the medical product and sell it for $100,000, $500,000 for some of this equipment, which is the same as what we're using. All right, so they use us as a test bed. So at that point, it doesn't make as much of a difference if they don't make a lot of money on us to sell us cameras, because they're using us to also beta test what they are then going to sell for a lot of money. But there comes a time when they just simply can't do it. Once again, ROI, return on investment. Once it goes below a certain number, they call it quits. So I don't know. I don't want to be gloom and doom here, but it doesn't look nice. These numbers don't look promising. But who knows? When we take a look at August and September, maybe those numbers are going to bump up a little bit and we're going to be on target to have a decent year for 2021, hitting 7 million to 8 million in camera sales. I don't know if that's going to happen. I want to know your thoughts on it. Also, for being here on my birthday, I want to give you guys something. So instead of using promo code YT20, use promo code YT30 today. Actually, today and tomorrow. And you'll get 30% off everything in my shop over at JCristina.com. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be a focus pyramid. It could be something like the ACC product for cleaning your sensors, Aurora Camera Care, possibly a PRT, a photo reference tool if you want to get your color dialed in right in pre-production or in post-production, or any of the other products I have, including my book, whatever it is. 30% off for today and tomorrow. Use promo code YT30. So guys, if you enjoyed this content even a little bit, throw it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and click this little bell icon over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you want to give back to the channel, you can use this email address right here through PayPal, or click this button right down here that says join. You'll become a member and I can give you perks for doing so. Or now you can use this button down here that says thanks and has a little $sign. That button is given to creators like myself that if you click on it and give a couple of bucks, supposedly according to YouTube, we get the lion's share of that monies. Okay, so if you so desire, you can do that. And finally, once again, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all of those photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. And once again, use promo code YT30 at checkout. Labor Day. Thank you so much. My birthday. I can't believe it. I'm getting old. Don't say anything. Don't even guess my age, because I'm old. I am old. Anyways, many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe and stay healthy.